as we go from last week into this current week, we have very little amount of information as far as news coming in down the pipeline. We do have CPI and PPI. Tuesday is CPI, Thursday is PPI. But now we're kind of getting the snowball rolling of what's happening with trade deals. Can new deals start to come in? And how much does Trump really have in the tank here? Because over the weekend we also have what's happening with the China trade talks, and it seems like that is going well. You know, it happened yesterday, Saturday. Now it's going to be going into Sunday, so they should be continuing. We saw some news come out that they maybe had stopped, but that seems to be fake news as of right now. And it's really important that we focus on, number one, the trade deal that just came in with the UK. I don't think this is going to fix all of our problems, but this is more of like, can we get things going, right? Can we just get something in the pipeline so we can keep moving forward with this progress that we're making? Because if we do, I do think the market will start to respond to this. Very important to understand that, okay? So that's really where we're starting on the day going into this video. Again, SPY didn't do anything crazy. Again, we still want to look for that 200 SMA retest for the SPY. We already had it on Qs. But ultimately, that's where we're at right now. Now, before I go too crazy and deep into the video, I do want to say a few things really quick. If you are interested in trading with us, how we're trading, everything like that, you can see everything that's going on inside of the Discord. The link is down below. But if you also just don't want to pay, you just want to get the free Discord, that is also available for you. We never want to feel like people are tied in. We also have a direct free, like hour-long quick course, or maybe fast track to how we trade and what we trade. So that's also free. That's also down below, and our PDF for our everyday trading checklist. So I'm trying to get more and more free content, like I've been mentioning to you guys. That's all down below. But you can see how we trade, what we're looking at, again, every single day. It's all there for you. So again, tap in if you are interested. So what I really want to talk about today, and I'm going to try to go through as quickly as possible, is really quick covering some of the news, right? So again, we already went over UK. I hadn't made a video yesterday, but we already talked about what was happening there. This is more for, in my opinion, like we're showing with steel and really to get us on the track. Like we already knew us and the UK have a decent relationship. The EU is where our relationship gets a little shaky. That's where things get shaky. And I don't think we're close on the EU deal. Personal opinion. It seems like India, maybe Japan, Vietnam are like the top on our list right now. India being number one. But I don't think we also want to do a deal with India while they're in the midst of this little war with Pakistan. So would be watching that. Do I think U.S. and China are going to get a deal done soon? Probably not. I really don't think so. But they are, at least they're meeting and they're talking. We've had, the UK, EU, Japan all talking to America, and things still haven't gotten done on most of those. But I think that this is the step in the right direction. As long as these titles don't start to become negative, I do think this would be a bounce scenario for the market from a fundamental viewpoint. Also, too, going into earnings this week, there's not really that much. I mean, there's a few little. They're not little, but they're not the big Mag 7, right? So they're not going to impact us too crazy. But also the calendar for the week, you have CPI here on Tuesday, like I mentioned. You have some Fed speakers throughout the week, but you really start to get interesting on Thursday with PPI as well. CPI is the most important for me. What I'd really be watching, that's the main thing. You have Michigan data on Friday, so what we're looking at there. Now, I want to spend a bulk of the video here on the chart and go over things that I think are important, how we should be kind of tracking this, and ultimately, like what I think is kind of the path for this week. So a few things first. Number one, we didn't really do too much near the end of the week here with the trade deal news. Now, this is the part that I think is probably the most interesting, if I had to go in detail, is the fact that you have this trade deal get announced, and we don't really do all that much, right? So this is the 2-hour chart. So this goes back to last Thursday, not this past Thursday, the Thursday before. And so you can see we're still upticking, and if I just clear everything off so you can see this is the NASDAQ, so you're still making higher highs, just slowly edging to the upside. And you go to something like QQQ, maybe this gives you a better visual. It does look a little bit better. You're making clear higher lows here as you're coming into your 200 SMA as well. You're just not getting the after hours charts here. But you can see coming into that 200 SMA, clearly making higher lows here as well. Potential flag kind of formed out there, but what you're really looking at are those higher lows that are developing. So you still do look really good on NASDAQ. Like you could come all the way down to basically 483 and you would still look really solid. When you start getting above the 200 SMA, I think things look even better. So that's really what I'm watching there as well. Now, SPY, again, same levels we've talked all about. This level goes way back here, previous little highs here and here, going back into July 2024. And it's funny, that's where we're kind of holding at as of right now. So as long as you hold about 565, 564, I think you look fine and you're looking for that bounce back to the upside and ultimately to the 200 SMA. But again, very similar chart here as Q's, clearly still making higher lows. Like, I mean, it's clear as day. Like, there's nothing really to really overthink about, right? You can clearly see higher highs, higher lows develop here. And on the grand, and this isn't even a very high time frame. This is 2 hours, 1 hour, 4 hour. But again, there's no real reason to get concerned unless we started breaking back below like 560 and started seeing some aggression to the downside. Now, if we started flipping 555, I think this could get really ugly. We could start pushing, back down into this range of basically 550 all the way down into 540, like 555 to 540 in a hurry. But again, we're not there, so I don't want to talk about it. But that's the important part. I will still say you still have some upside room there as well. Now, where things get really interesting as well, again, I'm going to make sure I go over futures and stuff. Like the futures are a lot choppier, a lot slower. But I want to make sure you guys understand the premise of everything before we start jumping into anything and everything else. So the futures look pretty self-explanatory. I don't think you have to do too much. You go into equities, and I think you're in a really interesting spot. Now, I want to go over a few things first. Now, again, if you're familiar with the channel, I like to repeat a lot of the same stuff over and over and over and over and over. That's just the way that I work. But again, hopefully this makes sense to you guys as well, is how we are kind of structuring some of this. So again, like I mentioned, when I'm going over all this, I always start with my trade plan, and that trade plan always starts and ends with futures. That's always the most important part. So this always pertains to futures, and then I go into more equities I like on the bullish and the bearish case, and then I go towards my bias to know what I want to trade. So as I'm going into this week, I still believe, unless the China news starts to go really well, unless it goes really well, I don't see a world in which Apple gets strong. However, I will say Amazon, did surprise me this week. Amazon, it was pretty weak, and then they stepped back up. So I do want to talk about the weak names first, since I think there's fewer of them. But let's talk about that. So number one, Apple, if it holds below, basically, no, sorry, I've felt pretty sick the past few days, and it's been long, past 48 hours. You're getting back above 2023 highs here. Big level here around 199,200. And if you hold below this, which you are right now on the 4 hour, the 2 hour, doesn't matter. Like, you're holding below it, you look weak. However, I could see the vision. I think some people are going to start talking about this. Tyler, do you see the inverted head and shoulders? And I think you have to go down to like the hourly to see it. But potentially, I could see this kind of forming out. Potentially, right? You could see that kind of forming out. So if you did start to break 200, you could get interesting back to the upside. Now, the only case you really have for Apple to look good is that you're kind of illiquid back to the upside. And you're only illiquid like in the 203, have some chop, and you're illiquid back into like 213. You are. I see the vision, right? The problem, though, is fundamentally. They're in a world of pain, just as a fundamental point of view as a stock. Declining search browser searching, and then overall, I don't think their earnings are that great or impressive. So what I'm looking there right now, if you hold below this, I'm still looking for downside. I think it's one of the easier trades to the downside. Where Apple gets very concerning is sub 190. With the good news that's surrounding the market right now, I don't even know if that's a possibility to hit. It'll be tough. But steering clear of Apple if we start to see upside. Amazon was one of those weaker names, but Amazon started claiming a lot of big levels. Okay, so let me just clarify the big levels here in Amazon. These are a lot of intraday levels I had marked out that I was just watching for trading it. So again, my chart gets a little clustered sometimes, but just going through here, deleting some of these so you can see. Okay, so your big level here is 188.6, and this is your 2021 high. I just know if you've been here on the channel, you know as well. I said you needed to hold above it to look bullish. You did. And you're above the 50 MA, which you were kind of struggling at for a few days. Don't ask me why. So I actually think you have quite a bit of room here on Amazon now, so it's turned from weak into pretty strong. You have room in 195.4, and then room into the 200 SMA. The 200 SMA is your big target. You've rejected there a few times, so I'd be looking at that. Reminds me kind of like of a Tesla chart here as well, which leads me to my next name, Tesla. So Tesla, I think it's a strong name. I actually think it is pretty strong. However, you're at a big level. So just because you're at a big level, I have to just be careful, because this is such a big spot now. So the $300 spot is kind of like where was our breakout point. And you can again go back to 2021 highs. You go back into 2023 highs, same spot. This is a huge spot for now. So as long as you're below 300, 301, I think you're looking for the rejection back into the 200 SMA. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you break above this, you had a level at 309. I think you can go right through it. You have a small level at 315. I think you can go through that. I think you really have room towards 320 if you really hold above 301, 302. So the upside is there, but the downside is also the main watch until you can break above 301. So how I'd be trading it. And I'd also be with the understanding of this is very illiquid. Like there's not a lot here, right? Back to the downside, you could drop. You could drop very, very quick. So understand that when you go up quick, you can go down just as quick, if not quicker. So understand that viewpoint, what we're looking at. Now, in my opinion, too, the strong names, which again, I might be a broken record here, right? It's NVIDIA, AVGO, semiconductors. So let's just talk about a few of the main levels. So your main level here is like 115.2, 115.4 level we've had marked out. You retested it pretty perfectly on Friday. We had the breakout, but you can still see when we go to the 4 hour and the daily, you're in this downtrend, as you can see here, which you're trying to break out of. So funny enough, that's where we kind of ended the day when we kind of rejected at those highs. So what I would like to see for it to get really bullish here, number one, to stay above 115, 115.5. I think you're looking for upside. But if you break out of 118.6 highs from Friday, you're looking for the gap fill into 120.5 to 121, one of my favorite names out there. Now, my favorite name has been AVGO. It's by far the strongest name in the market. This is one of those things that I generally don't retrade something over and over and over. But this has been one of those names that I've just traded nonstop. So on Thursday was one of my big trades as you had the break and retest of getting back over 205. It's just super, super clean. You can see here we went long all the way into 211, 210. So AVGO has just been a beast. It's a monster. So again, I think it's been probably one of the best overall names in the NASDAQ, maybe if not the best when we talk about recoveries. You went from lows of 140 back into 210, 211 here. It's like a $70, 50% recovery, which is just insanity to think about. You've mounted every key level, your 200 SMA, your previous high, just stair stepping up. And I really don't think you have that much resistance above this level either. I think you're pretty dry until 217 to 220. So again, I still think AVG is a very strong name. And names like this, all you're really looking for is just continue to hold your previous highs, right? That's all I'm really looking for. Can we continue to hold? Continue to do what we're doing: higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. I think a lot of time we overthink the process of what makes a bullish stock or a bearish stock, but higher highs and higher lows make a bullish stock. Lower lows and lower highs make a bearish stock. The end, right? There's no real reason to overcomplicate it. Another name that Jordan likes a lot has been Microsoft, big winner as well that he posted. So this name's just kind of going berserk. I haven't been as big of a fan trading it, but Jordan's just been killing it, and you're kind of breaking out of this little structure that you had. You can kind of see how you're getting there right now. The lower highs you've been making since all-time highs, so I'd be watching this pretty closely going back into July 2024. Microsoft is potentially at a big breakout point. I do think the news that they're having of trying to work and get a browser search for Apple is major as well. So I'd be watching that. But Microsoft is definitely one of the top watches now. If you're in Discord, be looking out for Jordan because he'll be the one that trades this. It won't be me. I'm not as comfortable trading Microsoft. Meta is another big name here. Again, a lot of levels. Sorry, guys, but I got to keep these on for Discord. I'll probably clean them off later. But big level here has been 603. Again, I've told you guys here, I think on Thursday, maybe above 603, you're looking for 610. Above 610, you hold that. It's an instant movement to 620. You just rejected there. But anyways, where you're at. Back below 592. I'm not really looking to trade the downside. You could trade this back into the 200 SMA. I have no desire to do that, but that's where you're at right now. So what I'd be watching, make that as clear as possible. As far as mid caps, guys, I don't want to spend too much time going over those. I still think large caps are some of the best opportunities. Mid caps I like. They're all still the same names. I think Hims, dude, they announced some news about an acquisition. They've been going straight back up. What a monster. I still think Hood's a little bit overpriced here, but it's just getting a lot of love, a lot of momentum. I'd be careful. I like Hims probably more value-wise than Hood. Another big name here as well. Upstart, some of these had earnings as well, so you get a better look at it. Upstart below the 200 SMA, steering clear. Affirm, a big name here as well, had earnings, drop below the 200 SMA. If they're steering below 200 SMA, you just have too much resistance, so you just got to be patient. There's no reason to get aggressive on those. That's my personal opinion, so that's what I'd be watching for. Another big sector I'd be watching too is going to be cloud. I think Pan W is a big name here as well, getting back above 190 to 191. Be watching cloud, definitely a slept on overall sector. CrowdStrike next, if you can get back above 411. You look really good there too, above 411, pushing back into that gap fill near 429, 430. That's what I'll be looking at. So again, what I'm looking at on the day. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Have a good one. Enjoy your family. See you at work tomorrow.